Hi, I'm Gordon Coyle. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about risk and insurance issues on the minds of business owners. And today we're going to look at the risks and insurance solutions for business owners importing products from China. Specifically, we're going to focus attention on general liability, including products liability insurance for Chinese products imported to the United States. If you've been hunting around online for coverage, you may have found this somewhat challenging and encountered some roadblocks from the big name insurers and the digital brokers that dominate the online search game for business insurance topics, which I'll explain in just a minute. Let's start with explaining what is products liability insurance and how it's often sold and purchased. Products liability insurance is part of the commercial general liability insurance policy, which insures the business operations of a company, including the premises, its ongoing operations, its products, and its completed operations, all in one policy. There are some rare circumstances where the products portion of that policy is split off to stand on its own without the premises and operations coverage, but this is typically for very specific products like pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals. In most cases, products liability insurance, as I mentioned, is bundled inside general liability insurance, and it is sold through insurance brokers or insurers online and in person. Next, let's answer the question, why does a U.S. company need products liability or general liability insurance when they import goods from China or elsewhere? That answer is pretty simple. U.S. companies that import goods from outside the U.S. face a heightened risk of product liability lawsuits for two reasons, and I'll discuss them in a minute. To protect the company from the crushing costs of litigation, they need liability insurance to protect themselves and the company's balance sheet. In addition to protection, many of your customers and future customers will not buy your products unless you can demonstrate that you have liability insurance, meaning you can produce a certificate of insurance. So in the general course of doing business, insurance is kind of critical. Why is there a heightened risk of lawsuits that I mentioned? The first reason is that as an importer of goods from China, you become the de facto manufacturer of that product when it comes to insurance and liability lawsuits. This is true if you distribute or retail your goods directly to end users, or if you distribute goods as a wholesaler through a network of retailers or other distributors. You are at the top of the food chain, so to speak, if someone is injured or their property is damaged by one of those products. The buck stops with you because there's no other collectible insurance for potential lawsuits. Why is that important? It's important because of something called subrogation, which essentially means that if an insurance company pays out on a general liability claim, they will seek to be reimbursed from someone higher up in the food chain. Typically, this is going to be the product manufacturer. But because the original manufacturer is in China and there's no way to sue that company or collect from them, the insurance company that paid the product's liability claim downstream from you will come after you for reimbursement. That happens every day, so being protected is critical. The second reason why there's a heightened risk for importers like you is that you probably don't have the quality control resources in China to inspect goods as they're being made, or even the ability to inspect and test all the goods once they land here in the US. That means potentially dangerous merchandise is distributed without good oversight, and that increases your risk factor for potential product liability lawsuits. Why are you finding it difficult to get liability insurance for Chinese products? There's a couple of reasons. First, many of the insurers and digital brokers that dominate online search are focused on what we call easy rate business. The business category fits nicely in a box, it's easy to rate, easy to issue, and there's not a lot of unnecessary underwriting. It's very transactional and very fast. An importer with goods coming in from China or the Far East is not easy, it's not simple, and it's not fast. These types of accounts require a lot of underwriting and they don't fit nicely inside of a box, so to speak. In fact, many of the top insurers don't or can't underwrite these types of accounts and instead defer them to what we call the specialty or surplus marketplace. The second issue is that while China does offer a vast range of high quality products, there are known instances of defects, safety issues, regulatory concerns, and hazardous components, all of which scare a lot of insurance companies into saying thanks but no thanks due to stringent underwriting guidelines and rules. So, what's the answer? To me, the solution is multifaceted. One, you should work with a skilled broker who has experience in working in this market segment and specializes in product liability insurance and knows the ins and outs of how to craft an appropriate liability coverage program. Number two, you should work with a broker who has access to or represents the specialty insurers that can and want to write insurance for firms like yours who import goods and merchandise from China, the Far East, and other foreign countries. Finally, number three, work with a broker that can go beyond just products liability insurance to provide you options on ocean cargo insurance, product recall insurance, cyber insurance, as well as all the other coverages you need for your importing business. These 3 points, experience, market access, and providing a full suite of coverages, are my skill set and my team's skill set. We can get the job done for you like we have for dozens of other product importers. Whether your product is an ordinary, mundane type of product or a highly specialized type of product, we have placed coverage for them and everything in between. How do you get started? It starts with a call. Yeah, I know you probably want to fill in a form and get an instant quote, but it doesn't work that way for these types of products. A quick call with me or someone on my team will give us an idea of what you're looking for, and from there we'll ask you to complete an application. We'll go out to the marketplace to solicit quotes on your behalf from multiple insurers to make sure we're not leaving any stones unturned. Then we circle back to discuss our results and the next steps. Every step of the way, we're here to help you get this job done and done right. Want to get started? My contact info is below, and there's actually a link there to my calendar if you want to book a call with me. I hope you found this information helpful, and if you did, can you do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to get more content like this? Thanks for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks.